cocktails to make with it, what it tastes like, aroma, and it tells you about like which one.
Cocktail. That's cool.
Product, and he became very successful with selling them. And he moved into this building in 1882. And this entire from our larger facility, it's shyly about 5 miles away from here. It comes to us by truck, and then we put it through the truck and put it into these fermentation tanks to begin that first process. Is anyone familiar with the 5 rules of bourbon? So it's not all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is technically bourbon. So there's 5 things you have to go by in order to get the yeast and the water mixed together. And the mash stays here for about 5 days. And at that point, it's about 10% alcohol by volume. That's known as, the smell. You get like corn, of course.
So are they all open like this? Like they're not closed?
They're all open, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know like sometimes beer is, they usually cover it up when making beer, but yeah, we leave ours open. Taste it too if you want. Yeah, if you want.
I think I want to.
It just tastes like, it's really bitter. See, it gets more bitter as I think it's higher up here. Get enough for everybody.
That's much weird. That's active.
Yeah.
It tastes different?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It tastes sweet. So this will eventually look like that. And the stuff that was halfway drained out, this after 5 days, they'll look like what's in that tank. Now this is another view of our copper still. So that mash that gets drained out of the upwards from the bottom and meeting the mash in the middle, and it shoots up through the mash, and that's how we separate the alcohol and the flavor from the mash. So, Brown-Forman is actually the only major distilling company to make their own barrels. Literally all the other ones purchase their barrels from other companies. But Brown-Forman strongly believes that barrels are a crucial ingredient to the whole process, which they are. You get over 50% of the flavor and 100% of the color. So each one of our barrels are made from these staves, 29 to 31 of them, and they're made from the American white oak tree. And it's arranged within the wood that need to come out so we can caramelize it. That's what the toaster's for. It's just to bring those sugars that are deep within the wood out so we can char them. And the next step is charring. You guys ready to see that?
Press the button.
Okay.
As soon as it starts flashing green.
Okay.
this has blades on each end of it, and the barrel goes around a time and a half and carves in these grooves. And that way the cooper can hammer in a barrel head. And we also put like a flavor neutral wax around it to give it like a better airtight seal. And all of our barrel heads come to us front with larger cooperage already charred at the bottom. And they're held together through a tongue and groove system as well. Again, no putty or nails or anything can be used. Now this is the cooper machine. So this is where you put the permanent irons onto the barrel and take off the temporary ones. So it applies about 4,800 pounds of pressure to put on those irons. So I don't know if you've seen any video of before this kind of technology was around, but it's really important because it used to be just a hammer and a chisel and just pure manpower to put on these irons, which was very difficult. It took a long time. So yeah, this machine's really important and useful. And each one of these iron tail reeds, these are flavor neutral, and these are perfectly fine for filling up like a small gap or something like that. And also cedar chips. There's not one in front of me. Here's like a small piece of one. These are can also be used for filling in small little leaks. And also, that's what comes out and that's what goes in. Yeah, so you can feel the difference. It's a much softer wood. Yeah, that's fine. And so once we see there's no leaks, the barrel gets rolled over to that filling station across the room, and it gets filled up with 53 gallons of that 125 proof White Lightning. The second it touches that charred oak, it is. So this is a pretty unique warehouse because it's just in the middle of the city, this urban environment. It's totally enclosed. Typically, a barrel. That's how you can tell how old this one is. And see all that like dark stuff that's on the barrels. Like the newer the barrel is, it usually gets a lot more of that dark. It's called a barrel candy. It's the terminology for that, and that it's actually basically a scab. If a barrel gets a tiny leak, it'll heal itself. Just the sugars in the wood